For Nigeria's aviation sector, the year 2017 was truly remarkable. One major achievement in that industry was the rehabilitation of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport runway in Abuja.
And certainly during the period, both local and international flights were diverted to the Kaduna airport. And that year, the Asset Management Company of Nigeria, AMCON, took over Nigeria's largest domestic airline, Arik Air, due to its huge debt profile. And within the year, government made moves to concession the Lagos, Abuja, Kano and Port Harcourt airports, but mere news of a possible concession generated reactions from some stakeholders in the sector.
Yes, indeed. Now, there were also talks of the establishment of a national carrier, and the federal government approved the payment of gratuities and other retirement benefits to the former staff of defunct Nigeria Airways. Well, some would actually call it Nigeria Airways. That's what they used to call it. But despite all of these achievements recorded in 2017, industry experts say the sector still needs an injection of $50 billion in the next 30 years to grow competitively. Now, what should Nigeria do in the air transport industry to make it the next aviation hub of Africa? That really should be the place to start with our discussions this morning with Danjuma Ahmed, Chairman of Transport Services Senior Staff Association Fan Branch. He's in the studio with us. Good morning, and it's good to see you.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
Happy New Year to you. All right, before we bring that particular question of how Nigeria's aviation sector can be, top notch, what are the major things that stood out for you in Nigeria's aviation sector in 2017?
Yeah, in 2017, Nigeria aviation sector witnessed a high level of events. It was really eventful, like you rightly mentioned. Let me start globally. 2017 globally was the most safest and very nice, or I don't know how to put it, very convenient
for
aviation generally. And because the major yardstick we measure in getting the level of achievement in aviation is safety of passengers and aircraft. In 2017, witnessed the least fatality as far as aircraft accident is concerned. I think we recorded 77 fatalities in 2017, which compared to 2016 of about 336.
That's worldwide.
Exactly, worldwide. The level, the difference is very large.
Of course, Trump just celebrated the fact that not even one death happened in the US.
Very good. Nigeria too, we had similar, only one crash, one death, one fatality in Kaduna, I think. One pilot trainer aircraft crash in Air Force Base in Kaduna. So I think going by that, we say 2017 was fantastic for aviation. And this has to do with the level of advancement in the technology as far as aviation is concerned. Vis-a-vis the use of the modern aircraft, like the Airbus 350, A350, has the capacity to change its pattern of flight. In the midst of flight, if it comes across a turbulence, the wings are modified in such a way that they adjust to absorb the level of turbulence such that the cabin will not feel the effect of turbulence. You'll be flying, the cabin will be very safe and sound, while the wings will be absorbing the shock outside. So that clearly reduces the impact to the passengers inside the aircraft. So these and other factors contributed to the success recorded last year. And going by the record, from 1997 to date, there has been decline in fatalities as far as aircraft accident is concerned globally. And I think this, like I said, has to do with the level of advancement we recorded over
Nigeria is keying in.
Nigeria is also part of it. Happily, last year we've not had any major air accident. That's aside. Events that happened last year were as much, like you rightly mentioned, the resurfacing and the reconstruction of Abuja Airport was a fantastic job, and that created a lot of opportunities for Nigerians. Kaduna Airport was transformed to accommodate international airlines. I think Ethiopian Airlines started operating in Kaduna. The terminal building was transformed to world-class standard. Passengers facilitation was eased. MMA was fantastic. MMA now you don't have issues of multiple checks. The advent of ease of doing business, has actually helped in that direction. You go in there, checking your luggages, and you fly without any hitches. Facilities are being upgraded. The runway Abuja, I think, is one of the best in Africa now. And aside from the runway itself, the terminal building were upgraded during the period of that movement to Abuja, to Kaduna. The Module B, I think Module D of that terminal, Abuja Airport, was upgraded, and it's now being put into use. So that has also affected.
There was, when we were giving our introduction earlier on, there was a question she raised about the Kaduna Airport. Good thing that Kaduna Airport has been upgraded, but now that the attention, when the Abuja runway was opened after construction or upgrading, and all the diversion to Kaduna left to Abuja. How is the Kaduna Airport functioning now? How is it going?
Kaduna is still fine. Like I said, Ethiopia continued flying through Kaduna.
Okay.
Some other airlines like Medview came into Kaduna. Air Peace started coming into Kaduna because of the facilities. Prior to that, they couldn't come because most of the facilities are not functioning well to their satisfaction, so they couldn't fly. But after that, they continue flying. Kaduna is still booming. It's booming.
Great. That's good to know. So it's a win-win situation both for Kaduna and Abuja.
1 billion. Remember how much was invested into the Kaduna, but it's fine. Now, let's talk about the issue of concession, because remember in 2017, the issue of concession threw up some controversies where there were disagreements here, disagreements there. What aspect of the airports are going to be concessioned? It seemed there wasn't proper engagement or understanding between the stakeholders in the industry. But what is the state of things now?
Yeah, we're still on the same page. We still maintain our position on the level of labor that concession is not best answer as far as we're concerned. And we said no because we gave reasons why it shouldn't be.
What reasons?
Yes, to me, concession is the lazy man way of doing business. If I have a facility like this big hall, fantastic. If I'm feeling I cannot be able to manage it, then I shouldn't be here. If I'm saying somebody should come and manage it for me, I shouldn't be here.
What do you do when you feel that you're not able to man or handle this facility? What do you do?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To me, concession, like I said, is not the best answer because FAN has the capacity to turn around the fortune of our airport. If, and I still maintain, if and only if there is no interference from the Ministry of Aviation. FAN has the enabling manpower, the resources to turn around the fortunes of our airport.
Is that what the problem is? Interference from the Ministry of Aviation?
It's interference, madam. It has been on for over the years, not only this government. Over the years, we have been talking, allow these CEOs to manage this system. Like my MD, is over 35 years in service in this. He grew up from the rank, from level 8 to where he is today. He has the master plan of our airport in the palm of his hand. If you give him the chance, this man will transform this airport.
I like,
they are interfering in his
I like when you use the word if. If is conditional.
That is it.
And this is how it has been from the years of Nigeria Airways, and it was grounded up until now. The NCAA or FAN, as the case may be, has always had interferences, and it seems that may not be going away anytime soon. So, in order for us to be able to meet up that global standard and ensure that we get into the 21st century in real terms, don't you think we should change the way we do things? Because the concept of interferences is still going to be there as far as these. There are all the directors are appointees of the government, and government pay their salaries and all of that.
I think I disagree with you.
Okay.
That if can easily be changed by the government itself.
It can.
It can.
Okay. Yes.
Government can as well change. If we are saying don't do this, why wouldn't they change? They should change and see that if we could not perform. I challenge them. I say, give us 4 years. Give me just 4 years. If I do not transform MMA, get me out.
Yeah, but that's...
Give me a target.
But that is one alternative.
Yes.
That is one road to solution.
Yes.
The other solution, which is also very practical, is the issue of concession, where when private hands come, government hands off, and by the time private hands handle this thing, government will get used to not interfering in the whole system. Don't you think so?
At the same time, government can equally start withdrawing without necessarily bringing an outsider. Like I said, they are not going to bring spirit from abroad to come and manage the system. But we that will still do this job.
But
why don't you allow me to do it?
But why are the stakeholders not open to all of these options?
They are, because of selfish interest. That is the fact. Like I said, if today, federal government said, fine, I don't have any business with you, go ahead, give me, transform Abuja, Kano, Port Harcourt, and Lagos in 4 years. I'll tell you, FAN generates about 2 billion naira monthly in MMA alone. So if I'm allowed to fly back 1 billion naira every month into MMA, in 1 year, how many billion? 12 billion naira. Won't that transform MMA? The following year, I go to Abuja. Third year, I go to Kano. The fourth year, I go to Port Harcourt. I say in 4 years, I will change these airports with 12 billion naira every year.
So what you're saying is really you are confident that government really should not concession these 4 airports, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kano, and what's the other one, Abuja, and Abuja Airport. But it's always been said that government has no business in business.
Of course, you can say...
Are we redefining the whole concept of...
The issue of aviation is entirely different from other sectors of business.
Okay.
This we are talking of people that you've trained over time. They have been managers of these facilities over years. And they know what to do to make things change. Allow them, let them do it. I tell you.
Why are they not putting their know-how and their skills already into practice?
It's the interference that is causing the problem. I said my conveyor belt is faulty. And I needed so item to change this my conveyor belt. I asked my engineer, please go and fix this conveyor belt for me. I am the MD. And the engineer went ahead. He proposed the type of equipment we used to transform this conveyor belt. I am sitting there in my office, a call from Abuja came. Please, I'm sending somebody to go and supply you that conveyor belt. And when you bring the conveyor belt, it's obsolete. It's something that I cannot use. And I'll be forced to pay him, and I will be forced to use it again. I didn't know that I will end up going back to the old one that I was using. And I cannot say no. But what I'm saying that if that call did not come, my engineer will fix it, and it will work. That's what we're saying.
There are some analysts have said that the reason why stakeholders are scared of the concession is because they're going to lose their jobs.
But to me, that is secondary. I always talk of Nigeria. What is national interest? How many staff do we have in FAN? Barely 6 to 10,000. They are not up to 120 or 170 million Nigerians. So what we are talking about is the national interest before we come to personalize it. National interest, if it is clearly followed based on our own proposal, we even said cooperatize. If you don't want corporatization, means allow FAN to go into the market. We get our FDIs on our own without recourse to the ministry. Worst case scenario, go to green concession. Greenfield concession allows you to give a virgin land to an investor, clear that place, develop its facilities, and we'll compete with them. When you come to my terminal is leaking, you go to the next terminal. I will be forced to fix my own. I keep on repeating this over time.
Does Nigeria have too many airports than it can handle?
We have 22 airports, and all are tied down to FAN. FAN take care of all these facilities. And the law says that for an airport to exist, either local or domestic, there are some basic facilities that needs to be in place and human capacity that needs to be there for the airport to function as international or domestic. This item must be provided by FAN. And we'll go to, even if the airport is not viable, like most of them were politically built for political reasons, not economic reasons per se, but some are equally important as an alternative. You can't fly and land in Lagos alone. You must land somewhere. So those airports serve as an alternative. In case of emergency, like what happened in Abuja, we move to Kaduna, or we can move to Mina. So they're equally important too. But we can harness and bring out the best out of them if we are allowed to do that. Like, for example, I can take you to Mina. If Abuja is too choked up for me, I can say international airlines land in Abuja, drop your passengers, go and park in Mina. I'm making Mina viable. When you land and park there, you pay me money. When you are coming to pick your passengers, you come to Abuja and land, pick your passengers and take off. All right, let's move to
the AMCON takeover of Arik Air and the problems, of course, that Aero had. Aero had to sack some 600 staff, about 60% of its workforce in 2017. Yes. What is the situation now with Arik? Is it better off now under AMCON, or what situation would you have?
Well, to us, we saw it coming. We saw it coming over time. We've been talking about it. The level at which Arik is being indebted to so many agencies in the aviation industry was too much. And it all boils down to poor management. And we have been crying out, look at Arik. Look at Arik. Their oil fund, more than 7 billion naira. Sometimes as union leaders will go and block Arik. During the previous government, the next second you hear a call from above, please allow them to operate. We'll be forced to go.
Still the interferences you're talking about?
That was what killed Arik. They are all virtually everywhere. But with the coming up of AMCON, I think there is relative peace there.
Because, I mean, I'm curious, when ARIC just started, I mean, it held a lot of promise, and all of a sudden, it went the way it went. Is there a need for government to look again seriously at the way it gives licenses, licenses given out to airline operators? Is there something faulty there that you see that needs to be corrected?
Yeah, I think what should be done.
So you don't have this kind of situation.
Just like what happened to the banking industry, I think the same should be reflected to the aviation industry. For an airline to float, there should be a guideline that you need to have so. Like in Nigeria, the rule says only 2 aircraft. 2 aircraft you can start floating in scheduled flights. I think that needs to be upgraded. Their capital base should be increased so that even if you are going down, it shouldn't be just going down like that.
Immediately.
And they should also be encouraged through some waivers, some kind of moratorium in such a way that, you know, their facilities is a capital-intensive business. And most of the spare parts they get are not manufactured here. They should be given waivers in importation of these spare parts. They should be encouraged to get an MRO, maintenance, repair, and overhaul hangars, so the aircraft can be maintained and repaired in Nigeria. C and D checks shouldn't be taken abroad. All right,
the time is not on our side, but I have to chip in this before we go. Recently, we heard reports of robbery of some persons on private jets along the tarmac. And we hear that government has set up a panel to look into that and so on. Can you talk to us about that? Someone was saying it is not possible for an aircraft that is on the move to be robbed. Logical. But the point there is someone comes and, well, we heard that a pilot, you know, attested to the fact that part of the aircraft was opened. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, I still maintain that that is not possible. And like I said, a committee has been set up to investigate that particular incident. There are more behind what you are saying.
Okay.
I think I spoke to you on phone on this matter. And what I still emphasized that day was, let us allow the investigation to end so that we will not preempt the content of the investigation. But aside from that, the way the MMA is built, I can't single-handedly believe that that kind of thing can happen. We run patrols at regular intervals. We see and receive aircraft on landing and takeoff. When somebody said we only had 1 escort vehicle, I laughed. It's not possible. We have more than 5. We have aircraft landing and the intervals of 10 to 6 minutes.
So if indeed,
we receive and receive that at the same time, why can't one vehicle be enough?
Such thefts happen at the airport, and Nigeria climbed to level 3 state safety program, SSP, you want to explain that for us? What exactly does it mean? How does it impact? How does it impact on the aviation sector?
On our certification? Absolutely not. Do not impact on our certification. Certification is beyond petty theft. There are so many factors that how many years? It took us more than 4 to 5 years to get this certification. So is it single act of minor theft, that alleged minor theft, that will lead to?
In very few words, what does this certification really mean? What does it do for our aviation sector?
In Nigeria, you are good to go. Airlines can fly into Nigeria with less or no premium to insurance companies. So in fact, they are happier than even we that manage those facilities. I see. Because they come in there, we do pay less premium to their insurance company.
All right, okay. We have to leave you here now. Danjuma Ahmed, Chairman, Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association, Fan Branch. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
And we wish you a great. Yeah.
Oliver Twist.
No problem. We'll certainly have time to dwell into all of these.